Hello, long time no see. As you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be reading out my dream journal. So I'm gonna go ahead, hop right in, and go to the first dream. So this was on the 3rd of June this year, and I dreamt about this. I'll just be reading the dream directly from the journal. I'm not gonna summarize it or anything. I'm just gonna read what I wrote down. And I'll be probably changing people's names just to not invade other people's privacy or tell them I dreamt about them. So let's get into it. Okay. It was nighttime and I was outside in my front yard. Maybe 5 deer were all in the same part of the yard, all of various sizes. I kept feeding them plums and little blueberries. By far one of my favorite dreams. Yeah, that's apparently all I remember about that dream. So that was the first one. And I'm pretty sure that dream occurred because the night where I dreamt that, I literally saw a deer in my front yard. So I'm not really confused about that. I think I was just thinking about the incident, so I dreamt about it. But it's not something that really needs to be deciphered, and I don't really know the meaning of it, or I don't need to know the meaning of it because it's pretty straightforward, I guess. The next dream was pretty long. It felt really long, but I'm not sure if it was actually a long span of time. Don't know. This person and I, along with a lot of other people, were in a huge rooftop pool somewhere in a city during an intense thunderstorm. Not a great idea, first of all. Along the perimeter of the pool was a metal border on top of the pool cement enclosure. The whole group of people, including myself, went over to the farthest corner of the pool and rested our hands on top of the cement border and underneath the metal bar, right in the gap between. So I drew a little drawing of it, but I'll just show you. So say this was the metal border, and then this was the cement border. We would have our hands right in between there, and there'd be little pegs connecting them. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a little border. Yeah, so that's how it was. And this is all a very bad idea, being in a pool on a rooftop during a thunderstorm with metal around us. Don't think that's a great idea. We were all trying not to touch the metal part of the border. The lighting drew closer to us and it struck the ground near the pool. It was so close to us. Do I just dream about almost dying or putting myself in really dangerous situations? Because I have no idea why I do that at all. At all. The pool was so deep. I never remember seeing the bottom of the pool, just the image of seeing a single pair of legs contrasting against the light blue pool water. I got sort of an image in my mind of looking up from underneath the water and seeing a picture of being underwater with the pool light while night swimming. Then my dream turned into the group feeling scared of what was happening. I don't know why we were scared necessarily, and why we were suddenly oh, this is a bad idea. Why didn't we realize that before we actually got in the pool? I went upstairs. So we got out of the pool, and then I went upstairs. For some reason, we got off the pool off of the rooftop, and then I remember going upstairs. Keep in mind, this was at first it was a skyscraper rooftop pool, and now I'm going upstairs in my house, and there was no transition. I went upstairs to find a dead woman, and she was very old, laying under a blanket on a couch in my sister's room. My cat just jumped off my bed and it scared the crap out of me. Oh my god, Jasmine. The group knew for some reason that there was a murderer in the house. We hopped in the car and went up north somewhere to meet my mom. We ended up in an enclosed netted space, probably the size of a small bedroom. The bugs started to sort of attack us, and we knew we had to leave. When we had to move, that's when the dream ended. I started dreaming again, and I remember setting up a poster on the wall with cartoon meat literally lined up on it with a table in the middle of the room. I don't know if these were connected, the meat dream and the ghosts, rooftop swimming / murderer in the house. And I don't know, there was never a resolution to the murderer or why we were in the pool on a rooftop during a thunderstorm with metal around us, or why we got attacked by bugs. So if you know anything about dreams, please let me know what that means, because either I'm going insane or I just dream really insanely. That was only 2 dreams, and I'm already 7 minutes into recording. I'm gonna have to edit so much of this out because I just ramble on about stuff that doesn't even matter. So this was sometime in June. I just wrote question marks for the date because I don't remember. Okay, so this dream was a nightmare. I was in my house looking out on the back porch through the glass doors in my living room. I saw a large man outside who wasn't intimidating at all. He was sweeping up the porch and just kind of cleaning up. I think there was a bonfire going in the pit behind him, but I wasn't necessarily sure. I went to the door in my sunroom to go outside to ask him what the heck he was doing. I didn't feel threatened at all. But then he came up to the door and asked to come in. He was gradually getting more aggressive, and I slammed the door in his face and ran to my mom. The next thing I know was he was in the house through an open window. I don't remember what happened with him after that specifically. The next few nights there were people trying to get into the house. The only way to keep them out was to make sure that all the windows and the blinds were closed for some reason. At sunset, we had to frantically close the windows and blinds before we saw a person outside. If we didn't do this in time, a person would be in our house asking for something. And I wrote a note in here. I think that this was me subconsciously thinking about the Black-Eyed Children urban legend. And if you guys don't know what that is, Black-Eyed Children are like demons. Actually, they're not children at all, but they take the form of human children. And this urban legend says that they come to your door, they ask you for something, and you have to refuse. Otherwise, no one knows what happens. And then before they, like, kill you, do they kill you? I don't know. I don't know what happens because I've never had an experience, obviously. Because if I did have an experience, you know that story time would be up on YouTube. So, like, they would, like, show you their black eyes, and there'd be no, like, whites of their eyes or eye color. It'd just be plain black. So I think my dream was partially inspired by this. Continuing on. We had to say no and turn our backs to them until they were gone, which sometimes took the entire night. Then after this, I remember walking in the woods with my sister, and we saw a dead cat on the road. So we got scared and ran into our cottage. The same thing happened with the people outside, and my sister was unconscious on the floor by the door and wouldn't wake up. I remember running to the other room and trying to save myself when I knew my sister wouldn't wake up. That dream was sad. I woke up like, oh my god, why did I dream about this? I was so shook. Okay, this is the 4th dream I'm going to be talking about. As soon as I started to read the 4th dream, my camera, I don't use a camera because I'm broke, but my phone just stopped recording because I didn't have enough storage, so I just had to clear a ton of storage to keep going. But it's worth it because I'm actually, like, excited about this video. It's not just, like, a stupid vlog or something that's convenient to film. I'm actually sitting down and trying for once in my life. I got coffee on my journal. There's a little coffee stain. No. Okay, anyway, this is my 4th dream that I want to share with you. This dream started off across the street from the Louvre at night while it was raining. I was with my whole family and we were crossing the street to go to this house thing. I never really saw the outside of the house. Before we crossed the street, we each put on our gloves on one of our hands. We crossed and then entered the building. My sister, my dad, my mom, and I entered this square black tube, and it, like, led up somewhere. It was like stairs, but, like, not stairs. It was just like a tube that you crawled up. After getting onto the second floor via tube, I realized that my sister, well, my other sister, was still on the other side of the street and wasn't even following us. I looked through the window to see her sitting at a table where the bucket of gloves were that we were previously at. I continued on, but the rest of my family was gone. I entered this room where it was very dark and you needed flashlights to see anything. It looked like a beat-up living room with an old chair in the corner and a small TV against the wall that was turned on. I was really scared. I knew something was in the house, and I sensed that it was a demon. I just knew. I went back down the tube, and a voice, as if almost out of an intercom, yelled at me, saying I couldn't do that. I ignored it and ran across the street to get Kayla, and that's all I remember. I'm not sure, like, why. Like, there's no meaning to that I could really find out. So this is the final dream. I'm just going in chronological order through my journal. So let me know if you want a part 2, because I will probably film that after I have some more, like, interesting dreams. I'm skipping over a lot that are just, like, either too personal or that just aren't interesting enough, which is most of them, so. But this one happened on July 7th of this year. In this dream, my mother and I, and someone else who I don't remember, were trying to run away from someone who would hurt us. For some reason, I think it was Jake Paul trying to kill us. We went to a home we had, which is kind of a hybrid of my current house and somewhere I wasn't even familiar with. We had a ton of animals, and there was a dead cat. Okay, so that's the second time I've dreamt about a dead cat. And I'm really concerned that that means my cat is going to die because I love him to death. And that'd be, well, he's gonna die eventually. Oh, I don't even want to say that. He's too precious. I was sad about it, and that's the second time I remembered dreaming about a dead cat. I even wrote it in here. I noticed it right away. We had literally a ton of animals in a small enclosed room. You could tell the poor animals were not being taken care of. We knew that Jake Paul and his group... Am I talking about Team 10? Oh my god, why do I dream about this? They were getting closer to the house, so we had to do something. We had to go to the basement. There was a very long, skinny black tube that went down. I went down first and turned around at the end of the tube to see a very disturbing monkey-human hybrid statue behind me, just staring at me. I still remember this in my mind, and it's so weird. Like, it wasn't even, I don't know, I think it reminded me of, like, Nutcrackers or something. Like, the way the body was, but then the head was, like, Bigfoot-like, if that makes sense. I don't understand. We went upstairs, floor by floor. I don't know why we were trying to go upstairs when we just came downstairs, and then at this point, I don't know where Jake Paul is in my dream. I don't know why I was dreaming about him. Maybe it's that stupid music video. We went upstairs, floor by floor, and on one of the flights of stairs, there were creatures. They were looking right at us with small black eyes. No whites of their eyes. Again, probably inspired by the Black-Eyed Children urban legend. I'm always afraid I'm going to say Black-Eyed Peas and then just laugh at myself because I keep mistaking that for the Black-Eyed Peas. They were weird monkey human things with white hair and gray skin. At first we ran away from them, and then we ran past them. I think there were 2 or 3 of them in a group on one side only of the stairs. On the next floor, for some reason, I had to grab my neighbor's old iPod 4. I also just remembered a detail from the beginning of the dream where my sister, my mom, and I were camping in the backyard. My sister said, the neighbor got caught for murder, and then just pointed out to a random house I didn't recognize. And that's when I stopped dreaming. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 to this. I don't know what any of these dreams really mean, so if you have any idea, hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Instagram. But yeah, I'm just gonna go drink my coffee, have a grand time, write down some more dreams that I already wrote down on my phone, and transfer them to here. But yes, so I'll see you in the next video, hopefully soon. Yeah, hopefully. Goodbye.